And start. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City of Successor Agency, for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, the Board of Library Trustees, the Public Financing Authority. The City Council does receive a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this regular City Council meeting to order on October 6, 2020 at 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Thornton,
Present.
Councilmember Marquez,
Here.
Councilmember Cabrera,
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Here.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Here. Staff introductions, please.
Pat Haquesnades, City Clerk.
Steve Quintanilla, Interim City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Marshall Ironman, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer.
Michael Wolf, Assistant City Manager, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
Manuel Mancha, Community Development Director.
Patty Solano, Parks and Community Services Director.
John Salisbury, Chief of Police.
Abdul Ahmed, Fire Chief.
Great. Thank you so much. Before we hear public comments this evening, I do ask and encourage everyone, like at every meeting, I do understand it's your First Amendment to say whatever you want to say, but do ask that you keep your comments respectful, at least towards each other and the members of the council as well. We will allow 3 minutes per speaker tonight, and it'll be on the agenda items and also on non-agenda items and the consent calendar. And we do have the list of speakers. I do have it in front of me. We'll go ahead and start with Ruth Rochelle.
Hi, thank you for having me. One thing, I've been in Moreno Valley. I've lived in Moreno Valley for 30 years. I stay on Shower Street. It's a problem that we have in every district. We have clean streets, all except District 3. If you notice on your map, there is Paris Boulevard, which is a good street. But Alexandro, once you pass Alexandro, drive up Alexandro to LaSalle. It's terrible. From Paris to, on Paris, going down Bay to LaSalle, it's terrible. Going down Paris to Cottonwood, it's good. From Cottonwood to Alexandro, it's good. But up in those areas where we live, our homes where we live in Alexandro, these streets are being neglected. Every other district, and I don't mean to yell or anything like that. Every other district is being taken care of, all except District 3 on the streets itself. I had on my car, I had my axle broke on me on my car on Kitchen. They fixed that pothole right away. But the streets are ridiculous. I noticed also that you have a repair right here on Graham and Cottonwood. That little section right there. They scraped that street, and I don't think it was nothing wrong with that street. We've been having a problem like this for well over 10 years. Mayor, I've called you several times on this. I have not gotten any return calls at all. We are being neglected, and we want to know why.
Okay, thank you.
And and one more thing. I do know that when I moved here, it was every 5 years they were supposed to do something on these streets. And if that section that I was talking about, from Paris to Alexandro to LaSalle to Cottonwood, in between those streets, and also those streets, especially Alexandro and Bay, I can say the streets are so bad, we're often getting will alignments because of the streets. And I noticed about a month ago, they were painting the yellow paint down Bay. I stopped the truck and I asked them, why are you guys painting? And the streets need to be resurfaced. And I apologize if I don't know the language. It needs to be just. We don't have a smooth street. We don't have smooth streets over here. I can look in the other districts, and the other districts are fine. But it seems like to us that other districts, if they have a small.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We do allow only 3 minutes just for everybody, just to be fair. But just to address your issue, you know, I am going to mention that I've always been wanting to make sure that we repair our streets. It's very important, especially in every district. You know, we will take a look at that. We do have a 5-year plan for our streets, so we'll see if those areas are in there. We did lose about 2,600 hours of community service workers because of the COVID. So they were actually helping 2,600 hours a month of service. They were helping every month. So we did lose that. And so there's been a lot of issues, but hopefully after January, you know, we can pick that up in cleaning our community and having cleanups and those kinds of things. It's really important, very, very important. I agree with you. Definitely. We need it all over the place to have a clean city and beautiful streets. So definitely. All right, next speaker, please.
Elmer and Linda Thomas, followed by Brandon Carn and Carrie Thin.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to everyone. First, I wanted to say thank you to the city. I really enjoy the email updates that demonstrate all of the progress that's happening in the city. It's truly amazing, especially during these trying times. You truly are leaving a legacy for generations to come. I see it in my own children, so I'm immensely thankful for that. About 2 council meetings ago, some accusations were leveled against my family by Councilperson David Marquez, and I just wanted to address those real quick. First of all, I'm not part of any orchestrated attack. I'm simply a 7-year resident of Moreno Valley in District 3 that never heard of David Marquez the entire time that I've been here. And I intensely care about my family and our community, and that's why I'm here. You say that I ran into your car, but you know, maybe I need to go back to physics class, but you know, if the back of my car is damaged and the front of your car is damaged, I don't see how I could have hit you, especially when there was an independent witness saying that they were driving too fast. But okay. And you said I'm in favor of Rafael because he's my neighbor, but maybe you forgot that you're my neighbor also. You're literally a 5-minute walk from me. So, and aren't we all neighbors? Isn't that the correct way to think about this? At least to me it is. We're all neighbors. So I don't know what you're talking about there. I think you should resign. I've said this before, but in addition, you need to apologize to me and my wife for the horrible way you talk to us, and my wife will elaborate on that. You should apologize to your daughter, how I saw you talk to her at the scene. You should apologize to that Riverside Sheriff officer for your lack of respect and not listening to her orders. And no wonder why when I investigated you at Montebello PD, not a one person stood up to say something nice about you. And you need to apologize to the Moreno Valley community, particularly with these egregious signs that you write in Spanish, knowing that you and your son, the horrible things you say about Mexico, and I'm not even a Mexican person. I'm Black, by the way, but I love Mexican people. I love all cultures. I believe the melting pot is what makes us a great country, but you obviously skipped that lesson in your civics class. We can't have folks like David Marquez who think there's some kind of duke or prince in service to our community, particularly when they're impeding our forward progress. We cannot go backwards. And same for Ms. Jimson, who has allied herself. Maybe, I don't know how she got tricked into someone who thinks so lowly of females, but we cannot go backwards. We're in serious competition. We've got to go forward. And I believe the rest of the council and the mayor are on board. And hats off to the community, the residents of Moreno Valley for being powerful through this COVID crisis. And please, everyone, go out there and vote. We really need you.
Linda Thomas, followed by Brandon Carn and Carrie Thin.
Started?
Yeah.
Ms. Thomas.
Yes. Hello, my name is Linda Thomas, and I am a resident from District 3. I am here to stress the importance of having a candidate that has a leadership position, and a passion for our community and to all citizens. Unfortunately, it is not David Marquez. Do not vote for David Marquez. He is a candidate with no agenda, morals, or values. He is clueless about our community needs. His campaign is to help homelessness, nonprofits, and public safety. What can you give yourself credit for the last 4 years? Nothing. Why would we want a candidate with no leadership or values? You keep disparaging warehouse jobs. Did you forget you were a Pepsi Cola warehouse worker? You do not inspire our community. You have no leadership skills, and it is so painful to hear you speak. Remember, you call me a nobody. So no, I will not be voting for you. And crime is not seasonal or homelessness. It is a concern of high importance. Do not focus on the other candidates. Focus on what you are going to do for our city and our district. You are running for District 3, remember? That's it.
Okay, Pat, if you can call the next.
Brandon Carn, Carrie Thin, and Bob Palomares. Mr. Carn?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm back again. The last several council meetings, I've been mentioning the corruption indictment that occurred in Tulare County on August 11th. It involves a company called Healthcare Conglomerate Associates. It's also called HCCA. This is a company that was co-founded by Ido Benzivi, a businessman here in Moreno Valley who also runs Highland Fairview. The indictment involved 40 different felony and misdemeanor charges ranging from things like money laundering and embezzlement. Ido's younger brother, Benny, who's the CEO, was indicted as part of this, as well as an attorney named Bruce Green, who's based out of LA, who has done work for Highland Fairview for the last 10 years and HCCA. The reason I bring it up again is because new Super PAC donation records have just appeared. And despite the Ido Benzivi and his connection to HCCA and all this criminal activity he must have been aware of because he was very actively involved in it, including attending bankruptcy proceedings in court with his brother. Victoria Baca, candidate in city council that was just mentioned in District 3, Rafael Bergueras, continue to accept money from Highland Fairview through their super PACs, despite all the chaos that has happened there and all the unethical behavior that has been revealed. The mayor, I promise, is also benefiting indirectly from Highland Fairview spending with the blessing of Ido Benzivi, not Benny, but Ido. That's disgraceful. That's something that should not be going on. And the last meeting I said to distance yourself from it because it brings a negative cloud. You need to continue to do that. Another point I wanted to mention was there was an article that came out on LAist.com. It's called "It Pays to Be City Manager in Moreno Valley." You can Google that. And it mentions how the last city manager of Moreno Valley, Tom DeSantis, was paid the third highest package of salary and benefits in the whole state of California. That's disgraceful. That is unethical. And it's questionable in this article how he retired and left the city. And I brought that item up in June and it was not discussed, but I really hope you are not doing that again with staff, especially now when we are suffering in this economic time period. And there was the last thing I was brought to my attention was the city attorney reminded Mayor Yextin Gutierrez, I think as well Victoria Baca, they need to stop blocking residents on social media. The mayor has been blocking people on Facebook for over 5 years. He has been warned by previous city attorneys and the city clerk that this violates the First Amendment and it is unlawful and you are risking litigation to the city. You need to stop blocking residents. And every time you mention how you supposedly protect the First Amendment at the beginning of the meetings, you're contradicting everything you say by this action. You pretend that you are trying to resolve it or do anything about it, but you still at this very moment have dozens of people blocked on Instagram, Facebook, and elsewhere. If you do not stop, there will be legal action by residents costing our city taxpayer money because of this. You need to change your behavior. All of you need to act accordingly and ethically because this is all these three things are disgraceful. Thank you.
Hello?
Call it.
Carrie Thin,
Yes,
Bob
Carrie.
Palomares, and Tom Gerald.
Yes, hello. This is Carrie Thin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. As was stated by the previous speaker, a recent news report stated that the city of Moreno Valley had some of the highest paid retired city managers in the state of California. All of these city managers worked for you as mayor and as a council member. You ensured that we paid or were forced to pay these city managers exorbitant amounts of money to keep them quiet as to your closed sessions and office meetings that the general public was not privy to. Today, the city of Moreno Valley is both notorious and infamous, not for saving the taxpayers' money, but for costing us. It was your time, but it was on our dime. There is an election coming up in just a couple of weeks, and many residents already have their ballots. If you, as a resident, are concerned about the rising cost of taxes, fees, and special assessments in the city of Moreno Valley, there is only one place to look, and that is the person that was illegally appointed to city council 6 years ago, this mayor. Even if you believe these city managers deserve their pay, no one can understand how a city with a poverty rate above the national average, double-digit unemployment, and air quality that was the worst in the world this past summer can continue to re-elect individuals that take no shame in paying off city managers to keep them quiet about their wrongdoings. Whatever checks and balances that may have been built into the system have been broken by this mayor. Whatever ethics codes that may have existed in the past to equitably share responsibility among the 5 elected members has been broken by this mayor. Whatever positive image the city of Moreno Valley may have started with has been broken by this mayor. I urge the residents of the city of Moreno Valley to vote him out in November. Thank you very much. That concludes my comments.
Bob Palomares and Tom Jarrell. Bob?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to just thank the MVPD, men and women of MVPD, and also the fire department for the great job they do day in and day out. I always got to raise them up because they do a wonderful job. And listening to the Thomases, boy, I couldn't add nothing to it. I was here for 10 days. Wonderful people. Too bad they had to be victimized. Because I know Marcus, and that's his MO. And another thing, these people that come here accusing the mayor and city managers of whatever, well, we know about the salaries. That's, public knowledge. But they bring nothing, no facts. All they do is just talk about it, just talk. They're kind of like the leftovers of Deanna Reeder and the phony corruption and a few years back. That's all they are. There's no truth to it, or they'd have facts in their hands. But the facts are what has been done by the city council, all the progress that they have made. I mean, it has never been done by any city council since this city has been established. The work that they put in, along with staff, wonderful job. And we have an opportunity also to put a hardworking person that'll even show that lady that was talking about District 3, Mr. Rafael. That's the man you want in there, hardworking. And so if you're going to vote, I mean, don't waste your vote on Marcus. The guy's no good, never done nothing. He'll throw his own family under the bus. So vote for Rafael. Thank you very much.
Tom Jarrell, followed by Luis Palomares.
Good evening. Am I transmitting?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tom Jarrell, speaking on behalf of myself, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, members of the staff, and the public listening on the Zoom meeting. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts. First of all, I want to give the mayor and council kudos for closing, I think it was September 3rd meeting out in honor of Jeff Barnes. Very, very fine man. He was a consummate best neighbor next door type guy, just a real gentleman and a great planning commissioner. Really a fine man. Got to meet his wife and his surviving son, who had actually done a short job for us a couple of years ago, and a very hard worker. So, but good family. So thank you for doing that. And continued salutes to Graffiti Patrol and the Public Works, keeping the city clean. And I was going to, maybe if the lady was listening earlier, if you're seeing large stuff on the road, I mean, not just paper bags and stuff, I mean, a large bunch of mattresses, things like that. You call the Public Works Department, the maintenance division, where they've been Johnny on the spot, getting the stuff off and taking everything from one loose bolt that might give somebody a flat tire to, you know, a real big mess, a whole car debris. So great people there. So thank you. In reference to any endorsements I may make for local city council offices, bottom line, I'm an issues person, not a personality guy. Actually, I have no qualms against Councilman Marquez or I'm gonna blank running against Victoria, but the reality that the problem in Moreno Valley from even before its incorporation was pro-growth against no growth. And it is imperative. I've been on the record as a pro-growth, pro-development person, pro-business person. That is the engine, and we're learning that acutely right now. It's the engine that climbs the pump, keeps the taxes going, keeps young people employed, old people employed, you know, paves our roads and keeps the system rolling there. So, you know, it's important that we always maintain a good quality pro-growth council, and I strongly support that, and that's why I've given my support to the Mayor Pro Tem and to Rafael Brigueras and to the Mayor. So I think they're taking a good posture in those areas there. So I wanted to share that, and I think that's the number one problem. Meaning you cut growth off, you cut revenue off, you cut tax base off, and it's a downhill slide, and we're learning that through the COVID-19. So I thank you for giving me a few minutes to share my thoughts, and wish you a good evening, and we'll see how everything shakes out in a month here. Thank you.
Luis Palomares. Luis?
Hello, Luis Palomares speaking here. Hello.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, community activist here. I'm calling because of just what Terry Finn said right now. How does she know what's going on behind in closed session? That's what I want to know. Is Marcus giving her the 411 or what? What does she know what's going on in closed session? My God, I don't believe the corruption. Give me a break. And as far as the other guy that was talking prior to her, I mean, they throw all kinds of innuendos, propaganda out there, red meat. What the heck does that got to do with our city council? What everybody else is doing in their own life, that has nothing to do with our city council. All I know, since this new city council came in, we're going full force forward. We have a state-of-the-art center coming in right there where the rec hall is. We got the Canyon Springs, the skate park here in Moreno Valley, community park. First time ever in the history of Moreno Valley, they had a graduation class, Canyon Springs in the old stadium. I mean, what do they want from? They're just jealous because nobody wants them. Nobody wants to give them $1. I mean, who wants Marcus there? Who wanted the old regime? They didn't do anything. All they did was annex everything over to Riverside. Remember the Meridian, the building, all that stuff. You know, they gave everything to Day on the other side of the Day to Riverside. They built it and we spent our money there. But now we want to try to get up and going on our own here. And they're still involved here. The people out of Riverside, a lot of them. And also Marcus is all in bed with all these people, these other liars, the Liars Club, the Dirty Dozen, the 666 Club. No, he's no good. We're running a campaign against him. He can't be in that seat no more because he don't do anything but throw all kinds of monkey wrenches and slow down everything that's trying to happen here in our community. What is wrong with some of these people that go out and say, oh, wow, it's a mayor, it's this, it's a council? No, they're just jealous. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants to give them $1 towards their campaign because they don't do nothing but they want photo ops. They want to rub elbows with the good old boys club. Give me a break. You know, they're just so, they don't even know they're running crazy, crying about everything that goes on as far as, oh, this sign, that sign. Hey, don't worry about signs. Worry about doing your job. The mayor does his job. The city council, except Marcus, they're all doing their job. Carla Thornton, Cabrera, they're all doing what they need to do to keep the city going forward into the 21st century. Come on, wake up, people. Don't believe the propaganda, the innuendos, all the nonsense that Carrie Zan and her dirty dozen and Marcus go out there and say, because they're all in the same bed with LaDonna Jensen, that bank robber. Doesn't she get it? She don't get it. She don't have no shame in her game. Golly, they voted her out. She said she was going to do what the.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Well, now, any more speakers, Madam Clerk?
No more speakers, Mayor.
Okay. All right. We're now going to move to our joint consent calendars, sections A through E on the agenda. All items listed under the consent calendar, sections A, B, C, D, E, and E, are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion, and is to be as a separate motion by each agency represented tonight. The motion to adopt the consent calendar is deemed to be, like I mentioned, a separate motion. We'll go ahead and start with any council questions or any actual items for removal. Okay. Any council comments, questions on the consent items for discussion? Councilor Cabrera?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out one item on the consent calendar. I believe it's called Teen Spot is the short name for it. I just want to really thank and applaud our city staff who put that together. And basically what it is, there's an old garden room that's inside of the Conference and Recreation Center that's not really been used. So it's going to be turned into sort of a computer lab type area where our youth can go in and just, spend some time on the computers. And I know that there's going to be a lot of other equipment in there. So I just want to thank our staff, Mike Lee in the city manager's office and the Parks Department, Patty Solano, all the way down, everyone involved in making that happen. So just want to give a shout out to our folks at City Hall.
Okay, thank you. And Mayor Pro Tem Baca, you had your hand raised? Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, I wanted to make a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
Second it.
Okay, second by Councilmember Dr. Thornton. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Thornton?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes 5 ayes.
Okay, great. That moves us on to our public hearing item. We have one public hearing item tonight. It's the public hearing F1 for 3 National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System mail ballot proceedings. We'll go ahead and have a report from Financial and Management Services.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. I'll be brief with this item as it's pretty routine. The action before the City Council is to conduct the public hearing for 3 NPDS, or National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System mail ballot proceedings. This is the process to accept 7 parcels into the NPDS system, and these rates or charges will only impact those parcels that are voting for these charges, not the remaining general citizens or taxpayers. If the ballots are approved, they shall provide the funding to meet those NPDS requirements for 3 new projects, which essentially will provide 140 new housing units, some of them rental, some of them single family homes. And that concludes my report.
Okay, great, thank you so much. And again, it's a very routine item here. I'll go ahead and open the hearing. Any public testimony, Madam Clerk, on these items?
None.
Okay, I'll now close the hearing. The hearing is now closed. If there's any council deliberation, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation number 2, which is to direct the city clerk to go ahead and open and count the NPDES ballots. So motion made by Councilor Marquez, second by Councilmember Dr. Thornton. She had her hand up first. Okay.
Councilmember Thornton?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes. And then we'll go
Motion
ahead and
passes
take a
5
moment.
ayes.
Yeah, we'll take a moment and we'll allow the city clerk to count the ballots.
Ballot number 1, Maria Morales, Custom Home, yes. Ballot number 2, Century Communities, yes. Ballot number 3, Apollo 3 Development Group, yes.
Okay, great. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve recommendation number 3, which is verify and accept the results of the mail ballot proceedings.
Make the motion.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second.
Okay, Councilmember Marquez and second by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. We'll go ahead and vote.
Councilmember Thornton,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5 ayes. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, that moves us straight to reports. We do have 3 reports from council members. We'll go ahead and take the first 2 reports by Mayor Pro Tem Baca, which is the March Joint Powers Commission and the Western Riverside Council of Improvements. And then after that, it'll be Councilmember Marquez for the Western Riverside County Regional Conservation Authority. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, I'm providing an update for the March Joint Powers Commission meeting held on September 23rd. At that meeting, the commission approved the installation of a new AT&T cell tower at the Marchfield Air Museum. We also approved new parcel maps for the Eagle Business Park and the March Business Center to enable the sale of individual buildings. This will enable several small business owners to own their own facility. And that concludes my report for the JPA. And for the WRCOG, items covered at the executive meeting on October 5th include, well, it's one, the fiscal year 2019-2020 TUMP fee collections totaled $49.8 million, including $4,001,407 from the city of Moreno Valley. That concludes my reports. Thank you.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yeah, one item, Mayor. Moreno Valley paid total fees for the August 2011 resident permits and 8.60 acres of commercial and light industry uses. The amount was $90,440. And what that shows is there's some type of movement in the city of Moreno Valley, which is good. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go straight to city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, no report from the city manager tonight.
Okay, thank you. City attorney's report.
I'll spare everybody. I have nothing to report tonight either.
All right, great. We'll go straight to Councilmember Dr. Thornton.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, Mayor Pro Tem Baca and I were able to do the interviews for the Citizens Public Safety Committee. So we are moving forward with that. And I'm very excited with some of the candidates that we'll be recommending to join the committee and us moving forward with actually having dates and times to hold the meeting. So look forward to those dates. I have a listening session scheduled this upcoming Saturday at Cupcake and Espresso, located in the shopping center in Sunnymead Ranch from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And Captain Salisbury from our Riverside Sheriff will be in attendance. So really want to encourage the residents to come out and talk to me as well as Captain Salisbury on any, and we're looking forward to hearing any comments you have, the positive ones, and also if there's anything that you would like for us to work on. I want to remind residents that we still are offering free microchips for pets, for our cats and dogs, the animal shelter. Those will be offered until they run out. This is a really great benefit that we're offering our residents. So please contact the animal shelter to schedule an appointment. Also, starting tomorrow, I'll be attending the League of California Cities conference. It's going to be virtual this year. It's very important for us as legislators to continue to have professional development and hear from subject matter experts on many of the issues that we're experiencing. And so I'm looking forward to attending this conference for the next 2 days to learn about some best practices and strategies to continue to move our city forward. I also want to remind everyone that you still have time to register to vote. You have until October 13th. Every person will be receiving an absentee ballot this year. And so for some of us who prefer to vote in person, like me, recommendations are to take your absentee ballot on the day of and surrender your ballot. They are not supposed to turn you away if you do not have your absentee ballot, but just in case, you might want to take it and surrender it so that you can vote. And lastly, we are still in the midst of COVID-19 testing. Unfortunately, Riverside County did close down one of our testing centers that was, we had 2 of them from the county, and this one was located at Crossroads Christian Church. However, we still have one testing center within the city boundaries that's run by the county, and that's at Cottonwood Golf Center. It does take a couple of days to set up an appointment and to get tested and get your results. So if you're someone that needs it immediately, there are urgent cares within our community that do take private insurance. And also many of our urgent cares have qualified for grant funding where they're not charging our residents. So one such urgent care is called Rapid Care Testing off of off of Heacock. And they are able to get faster results. So the point is that we really still need everyone to get tested for COVID so that we can continue to move up the tiers and more of our economy opens up. And I lastly really want to encourage all of our residents to shop and eat everything Moreno Valley. Many of our businesses are struggling due to the economic closures. And now that they're able to reopen, they're really relying on us to support them to keep their doors open. And so I really want to encourage you all to shop local within our city boundaries. And that's all the comments I have for today, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Councilor Marquez.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Carla, you took all my you did a good job, Carla, so I'm not gonna repeat it. I just want to say is when we have giveaway food, it's for the whole community. It's not for a district. It's not for a certain part of the city or low income people. When we have giveaways, food giveaways, backpacks, we're talking about the whole city. Come on out, pick up whatever we're offering, no charge at all. So come on out. I've heard some people this weekend say, well, I thought it was for District 1 because it was located in District 1. It's for all residents of Moreno Valley, so don't forget that. The last, and I hope I can put it to bed tonight, the family that, they keep repeating themselves over and over and over. And I'm just going to say one thing. They were at fault. Insurance company said they were at fault. And for me to apologize for someone who was careless driving and caused an accident, I don't need to apologize to anyone. They need to apologize to me and my family. So that's all I'm going to say on that. They can come back here every council meeting, talk about it, criticize me, but that's the honest truth. What occurred, I wasn't paying attention, made a left turn in front of my granddaughter, and now he's going to say it was her fault because where she hit him. That's all I have to say. Vote, get out and vote. Like Carla said, all the ballots will be mailed out. Make sure you don't get no assistance from anybody. If you have any problems, any questions, call the ROV. Call the ROV, they'll help you out. But don't go to anybody else in the city. If someone comes up to you and says, I'll help you fill it out, tell them no. I don't understand it. Get the ROV to do it. Or there's information centers. Don't let nobody else dictate to you how to vote or what to do, what to not to do. So that's all I have to say. And I hope everybody's wearing their mask. We need to get this city opened up again. And like Carla says, we need to support our local businesses. Good night.
Thank you. Councilor Cabrera.
Sorry about that. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
There you go. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes. It's good to be back here at the council meeting, and just really want to talk about two things. A lot has been said already, but number one, just want to remind folks about the census. Thanks to the courts, it has been extended. The deadline has been extended as of now to October 31st. So we still have a couple more weeks to do that, which is amazing news. I'm very excited, super happy to hear that. So we still have a little bit more time to keep raising up our response rates. And if you know anyone who still has not done that, or if there are any efforts that you come across in terms of outreach or events that you can participate in or help spread the word, please do that. I appreciate my colleagues. After the last council meeting, I saw a lot of you actually going on social media and on your press releases and everything, really spreading the word about the census. So I really, really, truly appreciate that. Thank you to all my colleagues here on the council. And the second thing, I just want to talk briefly about COVID. As you saw, what was this, at the end of last week, our very own president tested positive for COVID-19. Regardless of whether you support him or not, that's not important. The point I want to make is that no matter who it is, you can get COVID-19, and we're all not immune to it. So we need to continue to take this very seriously. Not all of us have the excellent healthcare that he has access to, but still, there are a lot of things that we can do. If you go out to events in person, in public, remember to wear your mask. I remember seeing shots, recorded video of that ceremony that they had in the Rose Garden. Everyone was shaking hands, people were hugging. There was just, we cannot do that. It is too soon to start doing those kinds of things. And so I just want to, again, remind everyone to continue taking COVID seriously. We're moving in the right direction, slowly but surely, but we still have a ways to go. And if we keep wearing our masks, we keep sanitizing our hands, keep washing our hands, keep our immune systems as strong as possible, we will get through it even faster. So those are the two things I really just want to talk about. I hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all staying well, and I'll see you very soon.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
That went fast. I'm like, okay, thank you to all my colleagues for their comments. And I just want to remind the audience that right before COVID, Moreno Valley was moving full force, like a steamroller. And we were bringing in businesses, and our businesses were thriving, and we were collecting a lot of tax revenue, property taxes, and what have you. And then everything came to a screeching halt. And it's not only in Moreno Valley, it's all the cities. And many cities have had to make a lot of cuts, a lot of adjustments so that they can stay solvent. And because we're one of the number 3 in the nation of fiscally solvent cities, and we've done a good job because of the staff we have and the direction of the council. Especially, I want to say thank you, Mayor, for your leadership. You've done a good job, and Dr. Thornton and Councilman Cabrera. I mean, I think we're an excellent team, and things have been moving forward. And I just want to say that we're in a good place. We're not in the best place, but we're in a good place currently. But there are going to be more changes because we just don't know how bad it is. Remember, Governor Newsom told businesses they didn't have to pay taxes. So we're not receiving the same revenue as we did before COVID-19 hit Moreno Valley, or the nation, I should say. I want to make an announcement for District 1 in Edgemont, or the quarter as it's known. And we have a new restaurant coming. It's called Country Kitchen. And I hope everyone goes there. The soft opening is this Friday, October the 9th. So please, like Dr. Thornton mentioned, shop locally, buy locally, and visit them and have a good meal. It's a reputable restaurant, and lots of people like them. And I'm just so happy and proud that they chose to make Moreno Valley their home. We have Zoom, meetings coming up for our holidays. There's going to be a Halloween event, Thanksgiving, probably up until Christmas. So, we won't be seeing each other and hugging each other like we usually do on the holidays. So for Halloween, log on and have fun. And please be careful, take care of the kids. I received several phone calls regarding the Paris off-ramp. And I'm just glad to say that we got that cleaned up. And I just want to remind the public that those off-ramps are not something that we could clean up because they're under the jurisdiction of Caltrans, but our city manager has a good connection there, and he put pressure on them so they can come out sooner rather than later and clean up that homeless encampment that many residents were complaining about. And I hope you understand that, you know, we would love to clean it up right away, but we can't because it's not our jurisdiction. I also want to say that we're right in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month. And I told the mayor, you know, I really look forward to the 15th of September, El Grito, and we've had such beautiful celebrations in the past. And this year, nothing really happened, but I think that hopefully in 2021, we'll be able to host the event at our new amphitheater that's almost in stages of completion. So hold on, please bear with us, bear with everybody, because I know all of us are getting cabin fever. We all want to go out. We're all stuck at home. Even if you travel, you know, like say, okay, I want to go to Mexico, but Mexico is closed down too. So it's just difficult for everybody, but you know, just bear with us. Stay safe. That's the most important thing, is that you don't want to catch this virus. You don't. It's deadly. We've had over 200,000 people that have died nationwide. And like someone mentioned, I think it was Councilman Cabrera, our own president contacted the virus. So be careful. It doesn't discriminate, and stay safe. And I just want to say that it's campaign season, it's silly season, and you're going to hear a lot of madness out there, but it'll be over soon. Just bear with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria, for those comments. And in talking about COVID-19, I'm very proud of our response as a city, you know, that we've been very strong in, you know, in really, you know, making sure, you know, we develop social programs for our community, like, for example, the Mobile Meals program that's fed over 7,000 families, the Senior Eats program, which provides daily meals to our seniors and individuals with disabilities. That's something that we should be proud of. But of course, you know, there have been a lot of individuals that have been affected by it negatively, you know, economically, and then also, you know, health-wise. You know, some have even passed away. There's even individuals that I know as well, and families, and it's just really sad. So it's very important that we continue to wear a mask, keep the social distancing. You know, this virus is real, and we do need to, you know, just stay alert out there. I do want to talk just a little briefly touch on, and I mentioned it earlier, on street repairs. We are working on the street repairs. You know, previously, I believe since the early 2000s, and I think it was right before 2013, around there was a suspension of street repairs for a while in the slurry seal program because we were in a recession at the time. But now this council, actually in the last 3 years, we've allocated money to our streets, and we've allocated over $22 million to our streets, both arterial streets and also residential streets. We repaired over 130 residential streets and several of the main arterial streets as well. But there's still much more. There's still much more that needs to be done, of course. I understand that. And that's why we do have a 5-year plan to repair a lot of those streets. And actually right now, for this entire month, we're repairing a lot of streets. And so you're going to be seeing a lot of that. So, you know, that might be causing some delays, traffic delays, but, you know, we are working on this. But like every city in the nation, we've been affected by COVID-19. You know, like Mayor Pro Tem Baca mentioned, you know, we are not receiving the sales tax revenue. There's been a deferral on the sales tax revenue for almost a whole year. So we've been hit very hard. Just this past year, we've had to cut about $10 million in our budget. So keep that in mind. And then also several of the programs that we had with community cleanups, and then, like, for example, our community service workers, those were suspended as well. That's through the sheriff's office, and unfortunately was suspended because, you know, we don't want groups gathered, you know, in buses, you know, going to clean up events, you know. So I'm hoping that once there's this vaccine, you know, hopefully coming in December, that we can move forward and definitely hit the ground running. And then as far as the on-ramps, like Mayor Pro Tem Baca mentioned, that is the jurisdiction of Caltrans. So we do work with them. We do, let them know, and we send, letters and everything like that. And we are putting more pressure. I've actually sent a letter to them, basically telling them, that they need to do, their job. And if not, we're going to take legal action because it's very important that we maintain our city beautiful, especially in the entryways, coming into the 60 freeway, the 215 in those areas. So that's really, really important. I'm also really excited and just want to end on a good note about the Teen Spot event. Just so many of you know, I grew up in the city my entire life. And I remember just even in middle school when we had our youth center. So if you've been here in Moreno Valley for a while, the city had a youth center, and it was actually where the Cottonwood Golf Course was or is. So it was a Cottonwood Golf Course and a youth center there. And they used to have basketball courts, ping pong table, air hockey, and it was just a really nice setup for teens to just kind of go there, get some homework help, and feel safe as well. So I'm really excited about this. I believe we are going to have a ping pong table there, and I do encourage you guys to come out and play. I'll play as well. I used to play, and so looking forward to that. And really just supporting our youth. I think that's really important to have that in our city. So I do want to end with that positive note, and we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 6:54 p.m. Again, thank you so much for staying and attending our meeting tonight. Thank you.